Good Lord, that would have been a disaster if I messed up my drink glass. Hi. Are we here? Because I really don't know if I am. I'm going to pull out a few things. I should be good to go. Thanks for popping on. Hi, everybody. Yay. I forgot my recipe. Oh, there it is. I've been frazzled. Okay, now Facebook is trying to reconnect. Well, this is fun. Hi. We're going to try it. Try to reconnect. So thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Instagram, Facebook, sorry. We are making 2 garlic scape recipes. Garlic scapes. So cool. Very essential to the season. Let me start off by saying I am Kasha by Alice. I am the FarmGirl Cooks, and I am here to cook for you what inspires me from our 55-acre vegetable farm in New York's Hudson Valley. And right now, what inspires me is garlic scapes. There is no way I'm not going to knock this over. Garlic scapes are what would eventually turn into the flower pod on a garlic plant. Let's try again on Facebook. So if you were here for the plant sale, you probably saw green garlic. That is the little bulb at the bottom, or kind of leek looking. And then it comes up with several leaves coming out. And then at this time of year, say early to mid-June, the scape comes out of the very center. If this is left on the plant, this little thing will open up into a flower, get pollinated, close back up, and it will make seeds. This word always gets me, bulbils. And those can be planted, but you're not going to get the big garlic that you are used to finding. So what we do is cut these off. And if you have hard-neck garlic at home and it's just starting to send out these scapes that are starting to curl around, cut them off, because they come out this way. So that's the cut end. It comes out this way and curves, or it starts to, whatever, it does its thing. We cut them off, and then we will sell these as the springtime garlic, and then save the best garlic in the field, which will now produce a bigger bulb of garlic, if that makes any sense. So once you take off the reproductive flower, the bulb says, uh-oh, I have to last a whole other year, so let me put all my energy into making this bulb, which is going to be the food for the plant for the next coming year. So we take these off because we don't want the flowers and the bulbs. We want bigger bulbs of garlic. So that's what we do. All right, we're going to cancel. Sorry, Facebook. So right now I am going to make some garlic scape pesto. This is going to be a garlic scape and basil pesto. You don't have to do it with basil. I like to do a little added basil in there just because I know I'm going to be using that. You can skip the basil altogether. You can even just do these with some olive oil in the food processor and make garlic scape oil that you can freeze to use whenever you want. We're also going to make garlic scape butter. That is something that Thomas and I love to spread on some bread, make garlic bread all winter long. So we make the butter, fold it into a plastic wrap log, freeze it, and then we can cut off chunks of it whenever we want it, let it defrost, which doesn't take really long, and then we spread it on bread, pop it in the broiler, we're good to go. So let's get started with the butter. I'm going to get my knife, because there are some parts of the let's see if Facebook works now. When you first pick these, We're counting down to 3, 2, 1, and it's still on 1 for like the last 8 seconds. When these are freshly picked, this is not woody. These are very young. I can pretty much put my thumbnail through it, which means it's very tender, like you would asparagus. This part gets a little stringy, so I am going to take off the ends. You don't have to. And I'm looking for about a 1/4 pound of these. They are unwieldy, trust me. Do you have a scale? If you don't have a scale, you know me and my scale. This is the only scale I like. Let's see what we got. 4 1/4 ounces. God, the girl's good. Okay. Cut them into smaller pieces. Do you have to do this in the food processor? Absolutely not. Hi, Colin. I wish you were here to help me fix Facebook. You don't have to cut them down into smaller pieces, but I do because I think it works better in my food processor, and we're going to get a little noisy for a second. Let's see how this works. That looks lovely. That didn't take long, huh? What do you think? Not bad, right? Smells so good. So remember, only use the spatulas and stuff and tools that you want to use for savory things. Don't use the sweet ones. Nobody wants pudding that tastes like garlic scapes. Unless you're going to the garlic festival. Who has been to the garlic festival? Is that the Hudson Valley? Wait, it's in Saugerties, right? Who's been there? Somebody was just talking to me about that place today. And what's your favorite way to use garlic scapes? Somebody has to have a few suggestions. If you watched me last week, was it last week? Whatever day it was the other day, I made baby bok choy and stuff, and I drizzled it with some sesame oil and soy sauce, but I had garlic scapes in there. All right, I am adding, so that was 1/4 pound. I'm gonna add 1/2 cup and 1/2 cup, 1 cup of butter. This is softened. You know, you absolutely could put your butter on here and that would save it beautifully in the freezer. This is unsalted butter, so I'm going to add a nice healthy pinch, probably about a teaspoon of salt, grind in some pepper, if you wanted to, you could put in parsley, you could put in some lemon zest, lemon juice. Not too much juice because you don't want it to get all separated. All right, let's try this. Watch it. This is a monster machine. This is a 14 cup machine, which is way too huge for my purposes, but hey, it was on sale and I got Kohl's cash like probably 20 years ago. So it was worth it. But if you have a 10 cup or a 12 cup machine, you'll probably have better luck with a small quantity. There's no reason why you shouldn't make a lot of this right now because the scapes are in season. There it goes. There's that one blob of butter in the center. It's gonna keep going. So I'm going to make some garlic bread just because I have lentil soup waiting for me when we're finished with this. Oh my gosh, does this smell good. All right. So there's still one clump of butter, but there. Do you see how beautiful green that is? It's amazing. And it smells so good. Let's get this broiler going. I chose to do, now I only have one food processor. I only have one, so that's what we're using. And I chose to do the butter first because I don't want to mix in pine nuts and cheese into my garlic scape butter. Embarrassing kasha moment. I turned on my oven the other day and realized I didn't have my cast iron skillet in there, and then I realized that the cast iron skillet was already in the oven because I dried it that way. That was a mistake. So we had our moment the other day. All right, a little bit. This is something called a compound butter. Anybody know anything about compound butters? Do you make compound butters? I want to know what you're up to. If you have done this, what have you used it for? Garlic scape butter, just like that. Sorry, glare. This stuff makes the best pasta. Just take this little bit of butter and toss it into your pasta, stir it around, you're set. Gonna do little raw logs of this. There's a little more we're gonna have to get out of there, but me and my greasy fingers. See how I'm reusing the paper? It's very smart. Very smart. You can leave it in a log. You can leave it in a flat kind of shape. You can put it in an ice cube tray. I really wouldn't do the ice cube tray thing, only because it's a pain to pop out. And this is simple. I wonder how it would work if I did that. You know what? We're gonna do that this time. I have never tried that whole square thing like I did with the garlic, the fresh garlic, ow, in the fall. Do you remember seeing how I did that with the garlic in the food processor? And then we made the garlic cubes. I know a lot of you guys did that, and I'm so proud of you. So I'm gonna do that with this and see how it goes. Spread it on here, put it in the freezer, and then cut it into small cubes that I can keep in a bag or a container, ready to use whenever I want it. Makes sense, right? Butter's messy. So I'm gonna throw this in the freezer when we're done, not now. And it looks lovely. I'll flatten it out, pop it right in the freezer, and then we will have garlic butter to use. But for now, let me rinse this off, and we are going to get started on some pesto. So while I am trying to get butter off of this thing, who uses pine nuts? I can't do that. Pesto is basil, pine nuts, pinoli, whatever you want to call it, and then Parmesan or pecorino, salt, pepper, olive oil. Sometimes a little fennel seed is great in there. You can choose whatever kind of nuts. You can do no nuts. You can do no cheese. Whatever's going to suit you in the future is what you want to do today. Today I am using pine nuts and Parmesan, and that's how it's going to roll tonight. I am going to freeze it in my little ice cube tray that I'll show you. We're gonna wing it. Less expensive for, oh, pecan. Okay, I've never tried pecans in there. Thank you, Susan. That I haven't done. I look forward to it though. I bet you could use hazelnuts. Yes, still a little buttery. I'll deal with that. Pecans are definitely less expensive, for sure. I grated my cheese ahead of time, so we're good on that front. Let's get the butter off of here. I am going to use about 1/3 of a pound of these beautiful scapes. You don't have to measure. You can eyeball it. If 1 pound is 16 ounces, quick, what's 1/3 of a pound? Can't help myself. The math teacher in me. All right, so we have about 6 ounces, 7 ounces here. Let's get them into some smaller pieces that we can put in our food processor. And I'm gonna do these first. Again, I'm getting rid of some of the little stringy ends because you guys know I have issues. This is what I have, textural issues, so it was easier for me to understand when Thomas had issues that he didn't like certain things. And you know what? Is it that important that he eats a Brussels sprout? No, because I don't like Brussels sprouts, so I wouldn't make them. But all in all, grand scheme of things, if he eats a green vegetable, we're happy, right? All right. Where's my lid? I'm gonna drop these in with it running. Why do I drop it in with this running? Because if you start it with just a few cloves of garlic or these little pieces in there, it's just going to spin around, spin around, spin around. It's not really gonna do anything. When you drop them in, they hit those blades and they fly around and they get chopped up faster and, in my opinion, better. So that's why I do that. So pardon the noise, and that's what we're doing now. It sounds obnoxious, but it's all right. Oh my God, it smells so good. I lost one. Be careful. Okay, I lost more than one. All right, back in. You know what? Let me scrape that down. We'll use the red. When you have the garlic scapes chopped up like this, I'm going to process it again just because I want all of the pieces. See how finely it's ground up? You can leave them like this with just a tiny bit of olive oil and put them in on that sheet pan with the plastic wrap and freeze them into a big rectangle and then cut it into squares just like you did with the fall garlic. Beautiful. Let me also say this. You can take these guys, cut them into a couple inch pieces, put them in a food saver bag with the vacuum seal. You can put them in a Ziploc. You can put them in whatever kind of container you want. You do want them to be as airtight as possible, your storage. That keeps them from getting, what are those, ice crystals, freezer burn. That keeps them in better condition. All right, shall we go with the basil? Let's go, pine nuts. We're gonna go with the pine nuts. Look at my little skillet. We can do a skillet toss. There's about 1/3 cup, a little generous 1/3 cup of pine nuts. Let me show you what these look like. Kind of tiny. See how tiny they are? They are about this little bit bigger than the inside of a sunflower seed. Just gonna toast them up a little bit. That helps them not taste quite so raw. So while I'm waiting for those, look what I did. Check this out. So this is one of the bowls that I made when Thomas and I went to the pottery class. So exciting. This one too. And look what else Thomas made. Very, very talented. Alexis is an awesome teacher, and we're hoping she's going to do something at the farm. Cross your fingers. It'll be fun. All right, we are ready with the broiler, so you know what? Let's get some garlic bread going. Yesterday Thomas made a delivery to Adams. So I had him pick up a loaf of bread. Seated, I'll do a little bit. So by show of hands, who does garlic bread under the broiler to get it toasty? Or do you take it and wrap it in foil and put it in the oven? Because we have done both. The foil thing is how we did it when I was a kid. And then Thomas and I decided that we like it a little toastier. So that's what we started doing. So do you like it toasty or not toasty? Not too shabby. Let's get our butter back. They are not, they're just starting to warm up. You can smell them. When they start to get fragrant, that means they are getting close. Wrap it up. All right. I don't know about that one. I may have to rethink our friendship, Steph. Okay, here's that. So many pans. How many sheet pans do you own in your kitchen? All right, Susan, the spicy apothecary, wrapped in foil until it melts, then open the foil and broil at the end. I like the sound of that. I know Thomas is going to want to dunk this in his lentil soup, and if he doesn't, I will. You see how nicely it spreads? Well, now this has just been processed, so of course it's nice and soft, but it will get that way once you take it out of the freezer and cut a little piece, put it in a small dish, just leave it out on the counter. It's perfect. The garlic bread, you wrap it up. I knew what you meant. I was just teasing you. 30 sheet pans in our kitchen. I'm gonna say about half of that here. Just because I'm insane. And how long have you guys been around here? Who remembers our open houses at the farm when I used to make cookies? All right, we're going in just like this. how it goes. So who remembers the open houses? Oh, this is starting to get nice and fragrant. All right, we're gonna leave that just like that. So for our open houses at the farm, it was a Thanksgiving event, and Doris and I would make cookies and we would give those away. Of course, COVID ruined everything with that, so we couldn't do that anymore. But I would have multiple pans rotated, and I made sure I bought them just because I don't want to have pans waiting, and you don't want to bake cookies on hot pans. You don't put cold dough on a hot pan. So always have extra. At most, what are they, $10? It's worth it to have on hand. They last pretty much forever. All right, so we did 6 to 8 ounces of garlic scapes. I have 1/3 of a cup of pine nuts that I toasted. Susan's right about the pecans. These have that softness that a pecan has, and they are very creamy, a little fatty. I love it. All right, dump those in. We're going to process that with some salt, about 1/2 teaspoon, and pepper, whatever you want. Give it a quick process, then I'm going to add some basil. We are starting with 1/2 cup of olive oil. I'm just going to see how that works. Okay. I'm going to eyeball the basil. Maybe a cup. About a cup. See how that goes. And then up to 1 cup of grated parm. Oh, it's getting so good in there. Okay, ready? We're going to add a little bit of olive oil until it gets nice and creamy. You decide your end product. If you want it really wet, you can add more oil. I am going to add some more. We're going to give it a little taste right now. Oh, wow, does that smell so good. Definitely need salt. We're going to add more oil. Wow, is that awesome. Bread's done. Before I burn myself. That's not bad. Not too shabby in just a few minutes. So I will let that cool off a little bit and then we'll cut it up and try it. All right, turn this back on. That looks perfect. The only problem with this is then you get little green specks in your teeth. All right, so you tell me, should I add more oil or leave it like this? When you are using this pesto, you can add it to your pasta with pasta water. You can add it to add some more oil to it if you want. But I think I'm going to freeze it just like this. And this is what I'm going to use. I don't know if you've seen these. These are awesome. They are little ice cube trays. And of course I measured 2 teaspoons in each of these. And I can push the little silicone bottom and the cubes pop out. So I will make a whole bunch of these. I only have 2 of them. So one I use for savory things and one I use for not savory things. So when you see me using 2 teaspoons of lemon juice or lime juice in a drink or something, that's because I have them reserved that I froze in here and stored them in the freezer that way. So that's kind of what I'm gonna do. I don't think my cheese is soft yet. All right, I wanna show you something tricky. I will fill this up with a spoon, and it sounds tedious. It's not so bad. When you consider what you're getting out of it, it's not that bad to do it. Because this stuff will last you, well, as long as you want it, really. I have some of this from last year, and it works great. So basically just fill up your cubes, get them in the freezer. When they are frozen solid, pop them out and store them in a container or a bag. And then you just need 1 little cube to add to pasta or rice or whatever it is that you want to cook with it. I like to do potato salad, you know, hot potatoes with steamed green beans, and I add some of this in there. That's delightful. So we're going to have 2 teaspoons in each of these. That's going to be awesome. Let me get some of this out so you don't have to watch. I'm going to use this and make salad dressing. One more thing that you can use with your garlic scape pesto. We have about 1/4 cup in here. I don't know if it's going to work in this big machine. We'll find out. If it doesn't, I'll get my little machine. Do you remember those goat cheese logs that we cut up one time? And I froze it in the little bits with the wax paper. Here we go. 2 ounces of goat cheese, right in. Lemon. You can use the zest if you want. I'm just gonna squeeze the juice. Wow, there are so many seeds in here. Sometimes they are just very seedy. So it's the juice of 1 lemon. And then we're gonna add some extra olive oil. Blend this up for a creamy dressing. All right, everybody, please work, please work, please work. There you go. One way to use this. Let's give it a taste. That's amazing. This would be so good on a pasta salad. If you ever do corn, sometimes when you corn season, you make extra corn, cut it off the cob, put this in it. Holy cow, is it good. You will love it. This machine is a little large for this amount, but it's still delicious. Just throw it back in there for a minute. There it was. There was one little piece of goat cheese that didn't break up. And there's that. So this had a little bit of goat cheese, lemon juice, olive oil, and then it was the garlic scape basil pesto that had pine nuts, and Parmesan. Garlic scapes and basil. Could this be frozen? Absolutely. You can make it ahead. One of my, some call them neuroses. I have a bunch of raw ingredients and meal starters, little foundational things like garlic scape pesto, cilantro pesto, the goat cheese blobs, tomato paste, all those little things. I have them in the freezer because I like to be able to create things whenever they're available. You know, if right now we have salad ready, okay, spinach salad, I will add this goat cheese basil dressing to it. When we have green beans or corn, I want to use these little things to add to it. I don't want to create and store a whole bunch of stuff and then defrost it in its entirety. I want little pieces that I can combine to make fresh things whenever I'm ready. So there's our creamy goat cheese, lemon, garlic, basil, pesto dressing. Simple. The garlic scape pesto, no goat cheese, and then this delightful garlic scape butter. Like, look at that. Make some scrambled eggs with that. All right, let's do a cut here. I know Thomas is probably waiting for me to get done so he can come in and eat. We'll go with that one. Not too bad. Let's see. It's really good. You know what else you can do? I just thought of it. Any one of these things would be delicious stirred into the soup. Just this little bit of garlic scape pesto. Not that much. That would be a lot. You can also add some olive oil and put it in a bowl, and everybody can dip bread in it. Have that on your charcuterie board, so you can add it to, you know, anybody can add it to their bruschetta or something. I don't use too much garlic personally because I'm old, but there are some people that love it. So there you go. I don't know what that's for. Sorry, Barbara, not gonna let you join. So what did we do? Garlic scape pesto, garlic scape butter, and the goat cheese, lemon, garlic scape dressing. 3 simple things that you can not just make today, but you can save for months and months and months. And grab these little silicone things. I think this is at Home Goods, but you can get them pretty much anywhere. And then you'll have all this stuff in labeled containers or bags, please. You don't want to mistake that for something else. All right. So Friday, we start the farm stand. Saturday, we have 4 different vendors coming to join us. We have Cedar Hill Botanicals, Black Rock Baker, Luna Grown Jam, and the Fearless Cook. Black Rock Baker is doing a lot of baked goods. She picked up some strawberries today. Fearless Cook is doing gluten-free baked goods and some prepared foods, and Jody is also getting some strawberries and rhubarb this week, so I can't wait to see what these ladies create. Mr. Luna Grown has a bunch of Bialis strawberries on hand, so his strawberry jam is Bialis berry jam. We'll call it that, because you know it's going to be good. We are open 9 to 2 Friday, 9 to 2 Saturday. So next week starts our CSA program, and I will not be able to be here on Tuesdays anymore because the farm stand is open 3 to 6:30. So I really appreciate you guys joining me. And now that the season is upon us, I'm gonna find a way to get back here. It's just not gonna be Tuesdays anymore. But you can always come to the farm stand, talk to me, figure out what's in season, what's abundant, what's most delicious, and we can kind of create things together. Jennifer, thank you. You had no idea what a garlic scape was until tonight. Awesome. Now you know. And these are available from us. They are available from most farm stands. They are available at different Adams locations. I know we've been selling them there. Pick them up. You can take them just like this and put them in your fridge for months in a bag. You can also store them this way in the freezer. I like to do like maybe 3 to 4 inch lengths. Put them in a bag, freeze them. Then in the winter when I'm ready to make chicken stock and things like that, I will pull out a handful, throw them right into the stock pot and use them. Perfectly in season, frozen, and you can use them anytime. It's kind of genius. So I guess that's it. Did I cover everything? I'll try to get that posted ASAP, and I appreciate you guys hanging in there. Sorry, Facebook, they didn't make it today, but we'll get back there. And I hope to see you guys out at the farm this weekend, next week. We're open until Christmas, so we'll see you soon. And thanks a bunch. Bye.